At the World Classics Championships in Stuttgart, coach Ma Juanren's Chinese girls shocked the world by sweeping all the medals in the long and middle distance races, then breaking a series of world records at the Chinese Games. The coach said that the girls achieved such records thanks to training them in a strict environment, drinking turtle blood, eating cordyceps. But after being discovered, everything was revealed. It was all thanks to doping. You are following the scandal case, athletes using doping, the most shameful thing in the history of Chinese sports on the Thrilling Story channel, and as usual. If this story leaves an impression on you, don't hesitate to leave a like, click to follow the channel and turn on the notification bell to update the most classic cases. Ma Juanren. Born in 1944. He was officially discharged from the army at the age of 26 and began attending a physical education teacher training course in Anshan City, Liaoning Province. He was then assigned to work as a physical education teacher at a high school in a remote mountainous area. He had a strong passion for sports and was willing to research various training methods. He trained many outstanding students, which attracted the attention of local government agencies. In 1988, Ma Juanren began to take on the position of coach of the Liaoning Provincial Women's Track and Field Team, and has continuously trained a series of world-class names. At the Stuttgart World Athletics Championships in August 1993, Ma Juanren's team won all 3 gold medals in different distances. Among them, Wang Juanhao won the gold medal in the women's 10.000 m with a time of 30 minutes 49 seconds 30, setting a world championship record. Notably, no Chinese athlete had won a medal at this world championship in athletics before. Immediately after that, at the 7th National Games in Beijing, Wang Juanhao achieved a time of 29 minutes 31 seconds 78 in the women's 10.000 m final, breaking the world record once again. In the 1/500 m, she also set a new record with a time of 3 minutes 50 seconds 46. In October, Ma Juanren's team won many team medals and took first place in all 4 women's top positions. In the World Marathon Championships in Spain, they set 66 track records that year, shocking the entire sports world. World running has entered a new era led by Ma Juanren. In February, Wang Juanhao won the 14th ONS Award, becoming the first Asian athlete to win the award. In a short time, they have become famous and are likened to the Oriental Tigers. In athletics, the yellow race has no advantage in height, weight, and other indicators compared to white and colored race. These characteristics somewhat limit the running and jumping speed of the yellow race. The racetrack was dominated by white and colored race until the appearance of the yellow race girls led by Ma Juanren. Ma Juanren became a great hero in the eyes of the public. However, behind that enthusiastic support, there are more and more doubts. Because in world athletics, the performance of top athletes usually remains at a relatively stable level, no athlete suddenly appears and becomes the top 5 times 7 times like that. Before becoming a legend, Ma Juanren's army only had Wang Xiaoxue win the Olympic bronze medal in the women's 1,500 meter in 1992, while Wang Juanhao only needed 11 days to lift the championship trophy. In addition, outstanding athletes usually only focus on one sport at a time. Few people participate in 2 sports at the same time. In September 1993, at the Beijing National Sports Festival, within 6 days, Wang Juanhao participated in 5 competitions and set 3 world records. She won gold and silver medals in the 1/500 m, 3.000 m and 10.000 m races, and then participated in the marathon in Spain in October and won a gold medal. These phenomena were all contrary to the rules of athletics, and people began to suspect. On December 15, 1993, the staff of the International Association of Athletics Doping Control Center suddenly appeared in Shenyang City and conducted an inspection. This was the first time that the International Association of Athletics conducted a surprise doping test at the residence of athletes without prior notice. The inspectors suddenly appeared and demanded that the athletes accept the test immediately. Otherwise, the team would be disqualified from competing for a year. The inspectors were indiscriminate and uncompromising. While waiting for the test results, the Chinese people expressed their support and believed that the achievements of the Ma Junren team were due to their own strength. On March 8, 1994, the inspectors went to Shenyang City again to conduct a second round of surprise doping tests. After these two surprise tests, the bottles containing the urine samples of the Ma Junren team members were taken to the International Olympic Committee laboratory in Norway. But the test results were not announced. The Ma Junren team members still had no news, which meant that there was no problem. So why did the International Athletics Federation find nothing after the Ma Junren team doping test? In fact, the International Athletics Federation conducted for doping tests on the Ma Junren team. It seems like nothing happened, but the more peaceful it is now, the more dangerous it is. If it is a period of intense training to prepare for an upcoming competition, then that is the ideal time to use stimulants. On the contrary, if it is in the adjustment period after a competition, without the need for intense training, then no one uses stimulants. These two doping tests took place when the major competitions were over and the team was in the adjustment period. It was reasonable to stop using stimulants. Although the two tests did not find anything unusual, it affected the mentality of the Ma Junren team members. The girls of the Ma Junren team lived in anxiety under the light of the miracle drug. Later, a member of the team revealed that in the early years, Coach Ma Junren did not find a drug that was effective, and it also had side effects. After 1991, the drugs that Coach Ma Junren used became more and more diverse and advanced, including oral and injection drugs, and at that time the authorities did not strictly control them, so the athletes used more. But gradually the side effects broke out and these drugs affected the girls' health. By 1992, the situation became more and more serious. Some said that their voices became hoarse, some did not have menstrual cycles, and many other team members developed liver disease. They were in so much pain that they could not sleep or practice. Many team members worried that after using these drugs, they might not be able to give birth or that the children born might be deformed. The changes in health and mental pressure made this group of young girls increasingly miserable, and they gradually became psychologically opposed. Some members secretly stopped taking drugs. But if Coach Ma Junren himself came to inject drugs, they still couldn't avoid it. The banned stimulant that Ma Junren used on athletes is called EPO, commonly known as a hormone that creates red blood cells. This drug can improve athletes' muscle endurance and stimulate the growth of red blood cells. It improves the body's ability to exchange oxygen during exercise, helping to shorten the gap between Asians and Europeans. More importantly, this drug has a fast metabolism, so after a few days, the banned substance can no longer be detected in urine. So if doping cannot be detected in urine, why are the athletes of the Ma Junren team still worried? In fact, in addition to using EPO to improve performance, athletes also have to combine taking many different types of drugs. Although the urine testing method is old, it still makes athletes afraid. On September 22, 1994, the third doping test came. At that time, Ma Junren's team had entered the highlands of Yunnan to train in preparation for the Asian Games in Hiroshima. On September 21, Coach Ma Junren and the team left the mountains, taking the train from Shenzhen to Beijing. During this time, the athletes not only used EPO, but also took many other drugs. The International Athletics Federation suddenly sent people to China, but Coach Ma Junren was really lucky because on the second day they were on the train, which was September 22. The international doping inspectors showed up in Shenyang, but none of the athletes were seen. The people on duty were startled and said that the team was still training on the plateau. Of course, they didn't dare mention that they were on the train, because if the International Athletics Federation came to inspect the train, everything would be over. The doping inspectors said they would go to the plateau to search. But Coach Ma Junren's people quickly said that it was difficult to buy a plane, and even if they got there, they would have to walk into the mountains, and they couldn't be contacted. The best way was to inform Ma Junren's team to go to Beijing and conduct the inspection there. The inspectors were also scared, so they agreed to wait in Beijing. Coach Ma Junren's people on duty also tried to inform him. At first, he secretly injected the athletes while on the train. But when they heard the news, they stopped using the drugs and took anticongestion drugs. After arriving in Beijing, he and the girls hid like thieves for 4 days before the test to ensure safety. When the doping inspectors arrived at Ma Junren's team in Beijing, it was already September 28. They had stopped using drugs for 4 days. So the test results were normal. After this incident, Coach Ma Junren was also scared and told the athletes that whoever was discovered would have to take responsibility. At that time, few people knew that behind the national pride there were many secrets. Coach Ma Junren often mentioned his 3 wishes: to win a world gold medal, break a world record, and build a long-distance running center. The first 2 wishes had been fulfilled, leaving only the last wish. In July 1994, Ma Junren decided to move the Ma Junren team's track and field center from Shenyang to Dalian. Both Wang Juanhao and Wang Xiaoxia and the other former players did not want to leave Shenyang because it was their home. They loved the sports atmosphere where they had been attached. But Coach Ma Junren did not care about the athletes' sad mood. From then on, Ma Junren gradually became antagonistic towards the athletes. Some people divided Coach Ma Junren's coaching career into 3 stages. Before the success of 1993 was the first stage, when he was careful, diligent, hard-working, and trained hard. But after the explosion of 1993 was the second stage, when Coach Ma Junren changed a lot. The third stage was in July 1994. Coach Ma Junren began to be autocratic, causing the whole team to fall apart. Ma Junren came from a peasant background. To control the thinking of these girls, he had to show a little bit of Oriental mystery and a little bit of feudal superstition. In addition, Ma Junren also did not allow the girls to read books, listen to music, strictly controlled the relationship between the athletes and the outside world. Did not allow contact with men, and did not allow love. In 1992, Ma Junren's team had a girl named Lu Oyu, who was outstanding in appearance and cheerful in personality. Ma Junren suspected that she was secretly contacting male athletes from other teams. So he beat her up and cut her hair. He also loudly cursed, "If you dare to have sex with men again, I will send you to the temple." And at that time, it was July, she could only wear a training cap. No matter how hot it was, she did not dare to take it off. And there was another event that made people even more angry. Before preparing for the battle at the Beijing Olympics in 1993, the pair of athletes had grown up but they had never worn bras. The girls felt embarrassed, so they made an appointment to go buy bras on their day off. The next morning, during the early morning exercise, Coach Ma Junren discovered something strange on the front of the girls' chests. He immediately shouted, "How can you exercise wearing this? Want to find a man? Want to have some big guys serve you?" He shouted even more angrily. Then, he walked up behind the stubborn athlete, put his hand into her sports shirt, grabbed her bra, and threw it hard on the training ground. She quickly ran away, and Coach Ma Junren picked up a brick from the floor and threw it at her. Fortunately, she was quick to dodge, otherwise the consequences would have been quite serious. The girls were scared and tears rolled down their cheeks, but they did not dare to resist. In July 1994, Zhong Linli had to be hospitalized for appendicitis. To prevent this situation from happening again to other athletes and affecting their training, Coach Ma Junren asked the athletes to have their appendixes removed. He also did not allow the athletes to have a health check at the hospital for fear that the secret use of drugs in the team would be discovered. However, the girls often suffered from the pain of hepatitis to the point of not being able to sleep. 5 girls went to the hospital for a checkup. As a result, Ma Junren found out that morning, and he was furious and beat the girls mercilessly. In addition to the mental and physical suffering, economic conflicts were also an important cause of the girls' uprising. Over the years, Ma Junren had received a lot of benefits, social sponsorships and advertising money, but he kept the athletes' bonuses and refused to give them back. Also in 1994, Wang Juanhao and another member took advantage of the time when coach Ma Junren went home to rest and left the training facility, completely ending their relationship with Ma Junren. The legendary Ma Junren team disbanded overnight, shocking the entire Chinese sports world. The next night, coach Ma Junren stood on a rock by the sea, thinking about committing suicide several times. 2 weeks later, Ma Junren's father heard the news of the disbandment. His health worsened and he passed away. On the way to his father's funeral, coach Ma Junren had a traffic accident and almost lost his life. By the spring of 1995, Ma Junren's remaining athletes had disagreed with him and refused to take medication. The former players failed consecutively on the field after stopping taking medication. But the girls were still determined that even a last-place finish was better than taking that scary medication. In 1998, Ma Junren reorganized the team to prepare for the Sydney Olympics. But before the start, the country conducted doping tests. Many athletes of Ma Junren's team were found to be using stimulants. As a result, the entire team was expelled from the training camp and banned from competing for life. This fatal blow was like an atomic bomb that shook the entire sports world. The medal competitions made the girls of Ma Junren's team the tragedy of the times. They were as bright as fireworks, but quickly extinguished, dissolving into endless darkness. Success in sports is exchanged for health, joy, and freedom. They have experienced countless hardships, pain, and tears on the way to becoming champions. What do you think about this coach's patient training? Leave your comments below to discuss. But before leaving, don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell to update the most thrilling and interesting cases on the channel.